Hey, hey,
Back. Let's
we are
go.
back.
Battling fantasy
Babbling
football.
fantasy football. Charles and Ryan here with you on a fine Friday. We apologize for not giving you a waiver episode, but we will be on that in the following weeks. But I don't think there was any huge names to pick up, at least for the rest of the season, I'd say. I mean, there are some plug and play guys that you could take a chance on, but Ryan, you got any waiver thoughts from this last week?
Yeah, I know a lot of people were obviously trying to get after Hollywood Brown quite a bit, and some people maybe overspent. Obviously, Xavier Worthy's injury week one was a little bit tough, but we saw recently that he missed the IR and he'll be back sooner than expected, and he even practiced already too. So that was the only main one I heard about. Other, obviously, like you said, plug and play, tight end people and stuff, or some receivers, some running backs. I know Eckler, your week one start, he's injured now, so it might be one I will talk about on Sunday a little bit more, just on who to pick up to replace him if you guys need to. And those Packers, I know they look like a pretty solid team over there in Green Bay for this year. We'll see how they play on the road, but beating two good teams at home weeks one and two by a decent margin. Kind of scary for us Vikings fans, but we'll see how that goes. So
Yeah, very unfortunate. Don't like to see that. I think they're one of the favorites for the Super Bowl right now, so we do
they
not
are.
want that to happen. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I definitely.
I mean, if there were guys out there in shorter leagues like Justin Fields and Keenan Allen, if they're out there, definitely go pick them up. But I don't think they're available in most leagues. I don't really care too much for some of the tight ends. I think it was a little bit fluky. I put some $0 bids because I had Kittle get hurt in a few of my leagues, so I threw a $0 bid on Juwan Johnson. I didn't get him. I didn't really care, but I got Jake Ferguson, who I'm happy with. But I think Fannon's another guy to monitor in case his production picks up.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like that. Let's see. Yeah, injuries are always tough, and I know Purdy he's out for a long time too. So hopefully, if you are in a shorter league, you're able to get, like you said, a Fields or somebody else off waivers. Even JJ McCarthy, you never know, or Caleb Williams. People to look at that had good week ones, and I think with their running abilities, they can keep on having good weeks upcoming. So I like some of those call outs for sure. And like you said, on Sunday, we'll actually release or we'll have waivers for Sunday or Monday. We'll have waivers for next week. So we'll be on top of it for next time. Sorry about that for this week, but let's maybe get into our starts of the week. Charlie, you ready? Because
Let's
none of
do
us
it.
had starts that happened yesterday or last night. So, and there was some fantasy football production, but not a lot. Debo Samuel, he's another just guy to watch out for. I don't believe he's on any waivers for anybody right now. I'd be a little bit surprised, but he might be on some people's bench. I know I started him in our league, Charlie, over Waddle and J.K. Dobbins, and well, that was actually wide receiver. So I set him over Waddle, and Dowd's got a little bit. He was fuming last night, which is
Oh,
funny that I
really?
said Deebo Samuel after he had that touchdown. So that was kind of funny. But this guy to look out for in the future weeks, and maybe start him because he's getting good production there in Washington, and Zach Ertz as well. Him and Daniels
Yeah.
have a good connection together. So, anyways, there we go. Those are some thoughts. What do you
One, I'll
got?
just add to that. I do like Debo a lot. Last year he had pneumonia, so maybe that was part of the reason why he struggled. And Washington, their run game looks awful, so we know they're
Yeah,
gonna have to be throwing the ball. So I like Debo a lot this year.
agreed. Especially when Scary Terry gets doubled or has one of the best corners on him all the time. So, good
Yeah.
thoughts. Charlie, do you want to do your QB start of the week here first?
Sure. I'm going with someone that's a little bit more ballsy. Finished as a QB 17 last week. I'm going with Drake May. He gets Carolina, who looked awful this past week. So Drake May, he had 46 pass attempts in week one. Um, and honestly, the Jags last week when they played Carolina, they ran it down the field super easily on the Panthers. Kind of like same old with the Panthers going back to last year. So I think you could take a shot at them
Hmm.
on them. They've got a lot of wide receiver options there, so I think Drake May could be in for a big day against Carolina.
I like that pick. Um, yeah, I think he's due. I mean, a lot of hype in him going into the season. Week one was kind of a letdown. Hopefully, it was a fluke. And like you said, Carolina's defense is not improved at all. So I think that they can put up some points. It's a good pick right there, Charlie.
Yeah, well, before you get into yours again, if you're new to listening, we appreciate the support, but we will not have our top fantasy players in this. You'll not be hearing about Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, guys like that. These are lower guys that you're on the fence about starting. So I'm going with Drake May. Let's hear about Ryan's quarterback start of the week.
Yes, that's a good call out right there. We're not doing the top guys. We know that you should already be starting them. Josh Allen getting you 38 fantasy points on last Sunday was clutch for myself and helped me win the league. So we already know you should start him. This one might be a little bit easier too. My QB start of the week, and I know he was kind of like what I think QB2 or QB3 last week, is Justin Fields. Week one, he would have been obviously a fence player for a lot of people. This week, he still might be. I don't know how proven he really is with that big week one. But I guess I'm gonna say him because obviously week one he was great, and I think he's back. He looked really good, not just running the ball, that looked amazing, but also passing the ball too. And his receivers, him and Garrett Wilson had a good connection together, and I think that'll continue. Another big part is they play Buffalo at home. I think it's going to be nice weather in New York too. That's besides the point. But the Bills last week against the Ravens, and I know it is the Ravens, let up a lot of rushing yards to both Derrick Henry and to Lamar Jackson. Both of them put up big fantasy points. Bills' defense is really not that good. Their cornerback and secondary is kind of wiped out a little bit, especially they're down that third safety or something like that. So look for it to kind of be a lot of another high scoring affair there between the Bills and the Jets. And Justin Fields will put up a decent amount of fantasy points again. So I would say, yeah, obviously you have Josh Allen, you're starting him. You have Lamar Jackson, you're starting him. You know, some of those other guys. But I know I have Herbert and Fields in our league together, Charlie. And I'm going with Justin Fields this week over Herbert, even though Herbert last week had 27 fantasy points too. I'm going to go with Justin Fields. That's just kind of my call out. He might be kind of an easy pick this week, but I guess if you have Joe Burrow or Justin Fields, that might be a little toss there. I don't know. So
I don't mind it at all. I love his rushing upside. I just want to go back to one thing. I feel like a little bit of a dummy because New England does not play Carolina this week. New England plays Miami. So
it might be easier
Miami,
though.
I was looking at, I'm not going to give anything away for someone in the future, but Miami looked awful last week. Daniel Jones, I forget what he finished with, but he went crazy against that defense. It feels like they're almost going to give up. So just another different team, but they're still bad. So I still trust Drake May a lot in this game. But I want to go back to Justin
I,
Fields. So some of those guys, I want to ask you about who you would start him over.
yep.
How about I actually have this in one of my leagues, Fields or Dak Prescott against the Giants.
That's a good question. I really think I'm going to ride Fields this week over a lot of people. Honestly, I think he can ride high again. How about you? What would you do on that?
I think right now I have Fields in there. I think it's close though.
Yeah.
But the Giants, they're also not a great team, especially with Russell Wilson. I think they could get up by a lot and start running. So yeah, I'll go Fields there. What about Justin Herbert against the Raiders or Fields?
Yeah, this one, I think, yeah, I was trying to mention, I am having Fields this week. This is literally exact question from my fantasy team in our league, Charlie. I have both Herbert and Fields, and I'm going to go with Justin Fields this week. So even though
Okay.
Herbert, he had a lot of passing yards last week, and he had 27 points as well. But I just think Fields' running ability and the Bills letting up a lot of points in that secondary. I'm just going to go Fields. That was a good question, though. That's a toss up. I feel like you
I
can't
did know
really
you
go
had
wrong in
that
that one.
decision,
Who
so
would you
I
go?
kind of that's why I wanted to ask it.
Yes, I like it. I have Field
All right,
slotted right now. So
one last one. How about Kyler Murray? He's playing Carolina in week 2, or Justin Fields.
that one, I probably would go with Kyler Murray in that situation. And this, the way you described, obviously the Panthers and their defense and letting up a lot, and Kyler Murray can run all over the board too. I'm gonna go with Kyler Murray. So, how about you on
Okay.
that situation?
I think I honestly might go Fields on that one. I'll disagree this one time. I think that Buffalo is going to actually be up by a lot, and that Fields is going to have to run around and throw around. So I like
I hope
Fields
so.
in that matchup.
I
What?
hope so. I hope so. That's fine with
Yeah,
me.
because Arizona again, they could be up and running the ball. So who knows?
It's
Anyway,
true.
let's get to our running back starts of the week. Brian, who you got at your running back start of the week?
Yeah, my running back start of the week. I do have. Let's see. Hope he stays healthy. I got J.K. Dobbins. So last week he had the touchdown, 16 yards. Or geez, not 16 yards. 16 carries as well. And this week they play at the Colts. I know their defense only let up 8 points last week, but HN was able to get a touchdown still out of it. And Denver likes running the ball. 16 carries last week, one long 19-yard touchdown. I feel like, and we know this, when Dobbins is healthy, he can put up a decent amount of points, and he does it. He's just got to stay healthy is the biggest part. I know RJ Harvey is obviously there too, but he had, which is, yes, his yards per attempt were better, but he also just had 150-yard rush alone last week. Dobbins still is number one slot there, running back wise, and he's going to get most of the carries. And I feel like definitely down in the goal line. I think Bo Nix is going to have a better week too. Week one, he struggled. But this will allow him to get back down to the goal line and maybe score a few more touchdowns and handoffs to Dobbins will occur within the 20. So look for him, maybe not to have a big week, but another good production of 15 fantasy points, one touchdown or something like that is
Yeah.
my game plan on him. So
Yeah, I think he's a solid RB2 this week. Like you mentioned, Bo Nix didn't play well, so maybe they will rely more on that running game. So good
yeah,
RB2 this week, I think.
I agree. Who do you got, Charlie?
Uh,
Who's your RB?
I got Travis Etienne, who
Yeah,
the Jacksonville Jaguars just traded away Tank Bigsby. So they're saying he's the guy. Tank Bigsby now is on the Philadelphia Eagles. So Travis Etienne, he could be back to his old self. I think he was the RB3 2 years ago. And then last year, he just had an awful season. Last week versus Carolina, he had 17.1 points, was the RB3 on the week.
yep.
I just think that he's going to have a lot of opportunities. And even last week, we saw Sampson have a decent week against the Bengals. So I think he'll be in for a decent week. And I honestly think he could be right back into that RB1 territory.
I like that. You think that what's the backup now? Tootle or something like that? Tutel? Do you think any worries on him taking away some of the carries, or probably not this week yet? I feel like,
I'm not too worried about it myself. I
yeah,
don't think he's played a ton, but I mean, it's something to monitor if they really want to run two running backs out there. But no, I
mhm,
think this was kind of them saying like ETN's our guy. That's why they traded Tank away.
yeah. No, I like that pick honestly. Um, he did well last week. He showed, like you said, the highlights again of 2 years ago where he was really good running back. So, um, that's a good start right there. I have no complaints either. But would you start Dobbins or would you start ETN
I think I'd go ETN
if
there.
you had
What
the?
about you? Oh, you cut out, Ryan. What'd you say?
I actually agree with you on that one. I probably would go ETN. Sorry, I would go with ETN as well because he's the guy there, the only one. You still have RJ Harvey having some proof in Denver, so I would also go with ETN on that. It's a good pick.
Yeah, I think I got ETN pretty high on my list
Oh
this
yeah,
week, honestly. So I think there's a lot of big names that I might even play him over. So this might be, I don't know, I might even play him over Ashton Genty, who I think has a tougher matchup against the Chargers this week. Maybe Bucky Irving against Houston. I think I play him over both of those guys.
Wow. Yeah, I agree with that. How about Chase Brown? Would you put Chase Brown or would you put ETN if you have the option? They play each other.
I definitely would go with Chase Brown there. I'm a big Chase Brown guy.
Chase Brown.
He balled out in week
Yeah,
one. What about you?
I would also go Chase Brown. I know they play each other. I watched like little highlights. I was mainly on red zone, but the Bengals and Browns, the Bengals like goal line defense was pretty solid. I was a little bit worried. So like ETN, if they can get down to the 1 or 2, they might be a little bit tough. But I do think, yeah, ETN still gonna produce a big week. I do like him over G&T, like you said, unless G&T can actually relax and get integrated really well with the Raiders. But week one, I think he might have been a little bit too overhyped and maybe too overzealous, unless that is actually how he's going to play. Then I think a lot of people should be over G&T. But
Definitely.
yeah, that Bengals defense might be a little improved. We'll have to see. Um, but I do think I like ETN slotted for a big week this week, though, still, for
For
sure.
sure.
All
All
right,
right.
Charlie, who do you got for your wide receiver start of the week?
I'm going with Marquise Hollywood Brown. I
Yes.
pivoted kind of right after I said a guy because I realized for these next couple weeks, I think he's going to be super valuable. Um, I don't know if Xavier Worthy is officially out yet, but it's not looking great for him. And he's coming off a 16 target game on 10 catches for 99 yards. So
Yep.
in a PPR league, especially, I'm really wanting to get him in there. I didn't bid for him in any fantasy leagues. That's just because I think it's going to be a short stint with him being this good before
Yep.
Rashee Rice gets back. But I love him this week.
No, I agree with that. That's a good call out. Yeah, a lot of people kind of overbid it though on him. I feel like in leagues, especially when you said it's going to be a short-lived period, but that target share last week was kind of crazy, and I believe that will continue. They do play Philadelphia. Their defense is still solid, but we did see last week though Dallas throw around it for the most part, and I think that will probably happen again, even though uh, they'll have to throw because Jalen Carter's back, and that defensive line is probably going to stop the run game for the Chiefs, which is not already really that good in the first place. So I do like that's a good start of the week right there, Hollywood Brown. I know he could sometimes be a little bit inconsistent, but I think with him being the number one receiver there, Mahomes can still throw just crazy passes. That'd be a good start. I like it, Charlie.
Thank you. Who do you got at your wide receiver position, Ryan? Start of the week.
Mine could be a little bit risky for sure, but I'm gonna go with George Pickens this week. Dallas wide receiver 2. So last week, obviously against Philly, Thursday night, first game of the season, only 4 catches for 30 yards, 7 fantasy points PPR wise, last half PPR. So that's definitely pretty tough. So main 2 reasons: Giants pass defense still is really not that good, and we saw it even last night with Washington struggling against them or against the Packers, but did pretty well against the Giants last weekend. So I think this will be a bounce back game for the Cowboys as they're not playing Philly either. I think they'll be throwing the ball quite a bit. Javonte Williams is not going to have 2 touchdowns again, and they'll be throwing up and down the field. I'm pretty sure. Second part, I know they're going to obviously keep on targeting CD Lamb for sure, which is like smart and good. But the way he dropped some of those balls last Thursday was a little bit iffy. I think Pickens can get a few more targets out of that, and I believe he will. He'll get open, and I like him slated for at least 1 touchdown this week. If people also bet on anytime touchdowns, I think Pickens will for sure get one. So,
Oh,
uh,
interesting.
yeah, it's an interesting pick for sure. But I know obviously you have your main starters and stuff, but I'm gonna go with George Pickens as um, the start of the week. Maybe
Don't mind it. CD, the last drop wasn't really on him. That would have been an insane catch if he somehow caught that
no,
deep
yeah,
bomb. But yeah, he did have some bad ones there.
yeah.
But all right,
It's
let me give you
fair. I
some
know
names.
probably
Oh,
some people. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, you go ahead. Sorry, we're like delayed by 2 seconds, so I interrupted
Yeah,
you.
I was gonna say. I know some people. Maybe there's an opportunity out there where in like 12-man leagues or something. Some people have Ricky Pearsall. Some people have George Pickens, and I think with Brock Purdy out for this week, I honestly would probably start Pickens over Pearsall. I know that's in one of the big ones that I'm guessing people have some questions about. So I don't
I
know.
think I would agree with you on that one. I was just about to bring up his name too. One other one, Devonta Smith at Kansas City or George Pickens.
I know that's another good question right there. I'm gonna go with George Pickens in this situation too. I just think I know. So historically speaking, when Philly does not throw the ball, especially does not throw the ball to AJ Brown, um, the next game AJ Brown gets a bunch of targets and receptions, but that does not mean Devonta Smith will. So I'm still like a little bit. I'm not bullish on Devonta Smith this week. I think he's going to have another struggle week. I am starting him in our league, so hopefully he does well, obviously. But I would start Pickens over Devonta. Would you go with Devonta in that situation?
I was just gonna, that's why I brought it up because I thought that you would say that, but I'm gonna actually go with Devonta there. I heard that there's a good chance that Dallas Goedert is gonna be out, and usually when that happens, um, the wide receivers get targeted a lot more. Um, yeah, Goddard didn't practice yesterday. They haven't officially ruled him out yet, but usually Devonta Smith, he goes off when he is out. So
Yeah,
that's where I would maybe lean Smith over Pickens.
Pickens. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I hope that he does well and does better, but I do think still that Pickens is gonna be due for one of those days. He has breakout games like crazy, and it could be one of them this weekend. So at least one
Could be.
touchdown though from George is what I'm expecting. So there
All
we
right, how
go.
about mine or yours for start of the
Uh,
week?
Pickens or Hollywood Brown? I'm gonna go Hollywood Brown. So
Okay. It's
I just
close, yeah,
I like the targets that Hollywood Brown's gonna get, and I think that'll just be really beneficial. So and outweigh kind of a lot of the stuff, especially PPR, even half PPR. Like I just still think Hollywood Brown's gonna maybe get like 10 or 11 catches this week. I could see it.
for sure. Maybe in a standard league though, if you're still in one of those.
If you're still in a standard league for some reason, I'm just kidding. Maybe then it could be a toss up. I still lean towards Hollywood Brown just a little bit, but it could be more of a toss up. So,
Alrighty. How about tight end, Ryan? Who you got there for your tight end start of the week?
yes, my tight end start of the week. And maybe if you have got it, this could be a solid replacement because at this point, if you have got it, you're not really probably benefiting from tight ends and you didn't really think about them too much in the draft. I would go with Brenton Strange, tight end start of the league. People are probably like, who is that? You know, so fair. He's the Jacksonville Jaguars tight end, and the Jaguars they play the Bengals. I know Njoku struggled a little bit last week against them, but Brenton Strange last week himself he had 4 receptions, 59 yards, PPR. It's almost 10 points. Hard to get that out of a tight end really in any point of the year. They did play Carolina. I do understand that too. That's a different situation, but look for him. ETN, maybe we can get him down in the goal line or something. And if they can't run it in, because that goal line defense is pretty solid for the Bengals, Strange could definitely slip out and get a touchdown reception. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of other good tight ends, but if you had Goddard and now he's injured, I would start Brenton Strange, some other guys, maybe like Ferguson or something like that. And Strange, I'd go with Strange as well. He had a few touchdowns last year. Actually, put up like decent stats in 2024.
Okay.
So he has opportunity. So he just had 2 touchdowns last year. So that's like maybe an out there tight end start of the week, but I'm gonna go with it. Who was yours, Charlie?
Oh, I just want to touch on that. I mean, yeah, last year didn't play too much because they had Evan Ingram there, so that's part of
Yeah.
it. But Harold Fannin was the tight end had on the week against them. So if you put their 2 points together, maybe he'll be in for a monster week. So between Njoku and
Yeah.
Fannin against Cincinnati. But actually, I've got a question for you. I picked up Ferguson in our league. Do I go pick up Strange instead and play him over Ferguson?
I would PPR wise, honestly. That's my thought. I know it's your decision, Charlie, but I really would. And we'll reconnect with this on when we do next week's episode. Well, depending when we record it. We'll see how it goes. So I mean,
Okay.
I think I probably would honestly go pick up Brenton Strange and see how he does over Ferguson. So
Yeah.
they're still
Wow,
figuring it out in Jacksonville. They're still figuring it out. Who is their receivers? I mean, BTJ did nothing last week.
he
Travis
had a rushing
Hunter
touchdown.
was solid, but not amazing. BTJ,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't
No, I
know.
know. I'm on the fence right now. I'll think about it and I'll let you know on our next episode how it went with my decision. I did not think all year that I would have to worry about tight end, but of course, George Kittle had to be put on IR because I was thinking I just had an easy play every week and never had to worry about that. But yeah, we'll keep you in touch on that one.
That does suck about Kittle, though. I agree.
Yeah,
He's just getting old, though. But so
they just got the injury bug there over in San Fran for some reason. Ah,
some
all
reason,
right.
yeah. Who's your Charlie?
This is maybe on the fence of him being a star, but I'm going to give you another guy that I think is on the cusp of becoming one of those top tight ends. I'm going with Tyler Warren of the Indianapolis Colts. Last week, him and Daniel Jones were very good together. They got him involved early and often. He had 9 targets, um, and he looked really good when he was catching the ball. So I want you to keep putting him in your lineup out there. Maybe even a trade for guy. Probably going to be tough to get him, but I love Tyler Warren not only this week but rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, that target share was really good for him. So I think that's going to continue, and they have that connection. Michael Pittman did kind of show out a little bit last week, which was a surprise. But I think the Broncos defense is tough, though. Um, but they'll be more tough on the receivers than on the tight ends. So I
That's what
like
I
that.
was kind of thinking. Sertan's going to be on Pittman, so I
Yeah,
was like, oh well, they'll have to throw to someone.
yeah. And Riley Moss is not bad either. So that's a good call. It's a good start of the
Or
week.
should we get into the fun parts here, Ryan?
Let's do it. Would you start quickly? Would you start Tyler Warren or Brenton Strange?
I feel like I should have gone with someone deeper in that case. I'm going to go with
You're
Tyler
good.
Warren there easily.
I would also go with Tyler Warren in that situation too.
Next week I'll give you a deeper name. No more easy ones like that.
Way down on the list. I'm just playing.
All right, let's see. Let me throw up one other tight end here. I think you got one that's a little bit deeper. So Brenton Strange or TJ Hawkinson against
Ooh,
Atlanta Sunday night.
that's a good one right there. I think Hawk. I'm gonna probably go with Hawk on that situation. I know Monday night was not good for Hawkinson at all. Um, but I'm hoping that he's back. So
Yeah, gotta go with Hawk there. One other one, Juwan Johnson, hot name on the waiver wire this week, coming off 11 targets.
Bretton Strange.
Okay.
Sorry, Bretton Strange.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. I, in that case, probably would start Juwan, but let, let you take Ryan's start of the week there.
Nice. We'll see how we'll obviously come back to it and see how the Jake Ferguson thing works out too. So that was funny.
Alrighty. Ryan, we want to talk about your big old shiny turd?
Yes, let's do it. My shiny turd kicker of the week is Tyler Loop, the Baltimore Ravens kicker. Obviously, it's not the other guy that they've had for a long time anymore. Tyler Loop came in on Sunday night, and yes, he missed the extra point. He did, but that doesn't count against fantasy teams, so that was nice. His field goals, he hit the 52 easily. He had another field goal too. They're just a high-scoring offense. Whether they get, I extra points or field goals. I know extra points are a little bit tougher, but Tyler Loop can put up points. They played the Browns this week, so look for more touchdown or look for either extra points or field goals as well this week too. And I just think he's gonna get at least 10 plus as well this week. So he's just a solid kicker. I feel like you can't really go wrong with a whole lot of kickers out there, maybe unless it's Young Wei Koo, to be honest, unfortunately. But other kickers as a whole seem to do well. But I'm going to go with Tyler Loop for this week, matchup wise, and just he has confidence. So it's good to see. That's what I got.
Nice.
Yeah.
High scoring team, high scoring kicker. There you go.
Yes, sir. All right, Charlie. Last thing. Who's your defense? Who you
Defense
got?
start of the week. And I'm picking on this team, and I probably will be all season. I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers, and they get to play not only then the New Orleans Saints, who are by far the worst team in the NFL. I know that they have a lot of injuries, the 49ers do on offense, but I'm not worried. Their defense doesn't have many injuries at all. And I think that Kyle Shanahan is going to put up a good scheme for this team. And people are thinking it might be close, but no, I think that Mac Jones will have a good game, and I think that they're going to blow him out.
Yep. I like that pick. I know, obviously, just the New Orleans offense is not there. Won't be all year. So it's a good thing to pick on them. San defense also they did well last week, even against Seattle, was a little bit better. So
Yeah, I
I
was going
like
to say
that.
they
Maybe a
were
pick
the,
or a fumble recovery or something. Because they're gonna need some off. They're gonna have to get some points somehow, some way. So
yeah, I agree.
yeah,
I was just going to mention, yeah, they did play well against Seattle. They were the defense nine on the week, and yeah, Darnold did not look good against them. So we'll see. Those are our starts. You want to touch on, I know we keep mentioning like, oh, we'll go back to the Ferguson start. Do you want to touch on last week's starts of the week at all? See how they went quick.
I know my Pacheco start was not good.
Did you also
So
have Tua as your
Tua as well. Yep, I remember those two. Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
I
I
didn't mean
thought
to pick on you.
Tua let me down like crazy. That was wild. I was
Yeah, he
surprised
did
by
not
his
look
week
like
one.
himself at all.
Yeah, no, that was funny. Some bad starts of the week there. I'm sorry if it let anybody down. I did not start Tua or Pacheco in any league, so I just thought they had good matchups and historically based. Uh, Tua obviously was a good week one player, so sorry for let you down in those situations. I will not do that again. Is my starts of the week this week will go off.
Yes. Trust in us. Trust in us. I
Big
for
trust.
the most part, I feel like I had decent starts. Kyler had like 20 points. I was happy with that against New Orleans. Eckler
Yep.
had like 10 and around 10 points. Obviously, you won't be playing him the rest of the year now that he has the Achilles injury. I had a horrible start of the week in my wide receiver spot with Jerry Judy, so that one was pretty tough. Um, I gave you Kyle Pitts though, who had a solid week one, and then Cardinals only had like 4 points, so that wasn't the best defense last week. But we'll see.
Yeah, my DK Metcalf wasn't horrible. He could have done a little bit better, but it wasn't a horrible start. So
Yeah,
my
I think
shine
he's
turned
in for a
on.
big week.
Yeah. So
Who's your shiny turd? I forget.
last week it was Cam Little.
Oh yeah, how did he do?
Let me check here quick. He
Oh wait, I don't know if you
didn't do
have
too.
time. We got like 2 minutes left here, Ryan, but one, you got time for a quick little game?
Let's do it.
All right. So a while ago, we used to play numbers like a tight end this on the week or wide receiver this on the week. So let's go over under Brenton Strange. Do you think he'll be a top 10 tight end this week?
Cam Little. Sorry, Cam Little did well last week, by the way. But anyways, he had 14 fantasy points. Top 10 on the week for Brenton Strange. Yes, I'm gonna say yes on that. Gonna do it.
Okay.
You're probably gonna say obviously.
I think I would have him right around that number, but since you said yes, I'll say no on that one. So we'll
Yeah.
have to remember to come back to these. I'll say no. Want me to bring up one more? We'll maybe do three, just so we have a tiebreaker.
Yep.
All right.
Let's do
How
it.
about uh Let's see. Patrick Mahomes this last week was the quarterback six with 26 fantasy points. I'm just gonna throw out a number over under 20 fantasy points.
For Mahomes against Philly, it's gonna be a grinded out type of game. I'm gonna go under. You go over?
Under. Uh all right, yeah, I was probably gonna go under there too. What if we move it down to like 18 points?
I'll go over. I'll go over for the sake of it. I got you. I got you.
I'll go under. I'll go under.
I'm going over. I know.
Okay. Okay. All right, we got less than a minute, Ryan. You got anyone really quick you wanna do a third one
um,
on?
let's go with quickly. All right, TJ Hawk touchdown.
One or less, or one or more, or one or zero
Yep,
or one?
yep,
I'm gonna
yep.
say no.
I'm gonna say yes. All right, there we go. That's it. Let's
Our
go.
three bets.
Let's go, Hawk. All right, like it, Charlie. That's it.
Perfect. Babbling fantasy football. Thanks for tuning in.
We love you guys. Thank you.
Love you. Good luck this week.
Yep.
All right,
See you
catch you
later.
later, Ryan.
Bye, Charlie.